All right, well, part of what's fueling a lot of this skittishness is this difference of opinion, that's probably putting it politely, between the White House and some within his own party, the president's party, particularly those Freedom Caucus members, who he has all but fingered for the dissolution of all of this. For example, he went after a number of the key members who he said all but torpedoed any progress on the part of Republicans. On this date, Brat is a House Freedom Caucus member, so always good to have him. Congressman, one of the things that President Trump mentioned on this issue is that the Freedom Caucus, that is you guys in general, let him down and let the party down. We're going to be rifling through some of his more eloquent tweets, but that he's ticked off. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I just want to, Gasparino had it right on the Democrat cooperation going forward, and I heard the prior segment with the hedge fund guys, ironically, of all people, talking about markets and et cetera, laying it on our back. Where has Wall Street and hedge fund guys been on structuring free markets for this country over the past 2 decades? Nowhere to be found. All they do is hedge for the next quarterly bet, right? We need to structure free markets. That's what we're pushing for here. We're fine on the safety net. We've compromised. We're in the middle of negotiating a federally run health care system. The guys on Wall Street, better than anyone, should know 10 years ago we had everyone talk about federalizing mortgages and Fannie and Freddie, and the gold-plated asset class was real estate. Never a ripple in that market until the federal government got involved. You got a housing crisis, a financial crisis. They're still reeling from that, and they haven't learned one lesson.
No, you're right to rail against the Wall Street guys. As I like to point out, Congressman, they're not red or blue. These guys are all about the green, making money, and they think they stand a better chance of making the money if you and some of your fellow caucus members would just bend a little. They also like to say that when it comes to this, health care rework that you repudiated, that you had most of what you wanted. You were going to get Obamacare and those insurance exchanges removed, most of the taxes associated with it removed. It was going to kill the individual employer mandates. So therein lies probably a few of the biggest features that you most railed against. And so they're saying, show a little ground here. You say what?
We're showing a lot of ground. We voted, if we have a hard time getting yes, we voted 50 yeses over 6 years. There's no problem getting a yes. Under this bill, which is polling at 17% with the American people, maybe not with the hedge fund guys, it's polling at 17% with the American people who we represent. The prices will still go up 15 to 20% through 2020 because of the insurance regulations, and they all know that. Paul Ryan can hit a switch in 2 minutes and have us at a yes. If we get rid of these insurance regulations, and Trump was negotiating with us, and we were about there on that deal. And so if they want to see us move, I get the issue. We want the Trump agenda to go forward, but you don't compromise with 1/5 of the economy, right? And so we want free markets so insurance can do insurance.
Would you buy the president's argument that you had most of what you wanted there, that it was better than the law that preceded it, and that if they get on board, this is the president tweeting here, we would have both great health care, massive tax cuts, and reform? That, in other words, whatever they agree on health care, whatever you guys agree on health care, would be followed up. You'd have a chance to fine-tune something that you made better than what was the case before. What do you say to that?
Unfortunately, it is true. This would be marginally better, but when you have a century historic opportunity with the House and the Senate and the White House, we want to keep our promise to the American people to repeal Obamacare. When President Trump ran and when we all ran and when Republicans unanimously voted to repeal 50 times in a row over 6 years, this does not repeal Obamacare. It provides the very structure of Obamacare.
But is any of that sentiment changing, sir, now that you're going to be a second crack at it here? You're closest, and I am, as I often say, but I don't see any movement or any budging move. Anything I see now, the positions have hardened.
No, I don't think things are hard. We want to have a success, right? And so if you can give us any bundle of insurance regs that push the price down. Paul Ryan said the whole premise is to bend the cost curve down. Under Obamacare, prices are going up 25%.
So you see progress in a second shot at it? Because the only reason I mentioned it, the back and forth between some of the members and the president has not been promising. And I know Justin Amash, your colleague from Michigan, was a little ticked off at that from the president, saying the Freedom Caucus, tweeting back to the president, stood with you when others ran. Remember who your real friends are. We're trying to help you succeed. Is that your sentiment as well, Congressman?
Yeah, that's true. We're all the pro-Trump guys. A lot of hedge fund guys and the folks in the other moderate groups were never Trumpers from the beginning. A lot of our critics now, writing in the Wall Street Journal, Dan Henninger, who I expect to have a little Catholic flavor over there, is pinning us under the head. We're fighting for free markets. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Dan Henninger joined the likes of Karl Rove and others. You think that they are in this establishment cabal against you? Or?
Yes. Yeah, and you can tell when all you're asking for is that insurance companies who are, you know, we make fun of them too, but they're in a hard spot because they're being mandated. A young person under this bill cannot go out and buy a cheap health insurance product. There's still this community rating where you have to have the same price for everybody in a market. That's not insurance. And that's what happened when we did the mortgage market, right? When the federal government got in the middle so bankers could no longer do banking and assess risk, what happened? We tanked. We're in a death spiral right now under Obama's socialist plan. Do you want to replicate that logic? I don't think so. So smart people need to get smart.
Who decided that it was a good idea with some of these divisions that are still fresh in people's minds to pursue the health care thing again? Now, I understand some of the math behind it because it provides the means by which you build on tax cuts, presumably in a comprehensive tax reform. But I don't know. I find far broader agreement, Congressman, among your colleagues for tax reform than I do this health care thing. So to me, it seems like lunacy to revisit the health care thing, at least now. What do you say?
No, I say the health care piece is essential for the tax piece. So we want to get it right. The moves are all right. Have the hedge funds take a look at the bill. Everyone's just saying, who cares about 1/5 of the economy? Just pass something. That is not our job as representatives. We have to look at the trend lines and study it, and it's the wrong answer. We can do much better.
All right. You're an honorable man. You were a very good professor, and now you're getting schooled in the ways of Washington. Congressman,
yeah, that's it.
Thank you very, very much. Back and forth we go.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you, Congressman.